Let's speak about Workhorse, baby. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. Look, I got the clothing line to prove that fact, my friends. And today we are making another video on Workhorse because a couple of things happened that I think are worth going through. The first one is we did end up getting an official statement from the USPS in regards to the delay of the contract. So we now know what came out from trucks.com was true. So at least now we're not speculating. Now we know it has been pushed back to the first quarter of next year. ARK Invest went ahead and purchased 167,000 more shares of Workhorse yesterday, my friends. I can't lie, that's something I was really hoping to see. Because if I bring you back all the way until here, the 2nd of November, they have only not bought Workhorse once. But this is a particularly big buy even by ARK standards, so I am very happy to see that. This was something I was really hoping for. Okay, is the price action. So I want to speak about the 15-minute time frame here, what I think could happen, you know, over the next day or two. And then I want to speak about a longer time frame, the 4-hour chart, and speak about how there's some conflicting information from the short-term charts to the long-term charts. And there is one more thing I want to speak about actually, and that is being emotionally attached to your stocks. But right before we get into that, my friends, can I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, my friends? Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you're doing with Workhorse. I know a lot of you guys actually ended up buying them yesterday. And please, if you are indeed new around here, what are you waiting for, my friend? Hit that juicy red subscribe button. Join the family. And if you are interested, hit that first link in the description and sign up to my private Discord group. You get full access to my buy and sell alerts, all of the new stocks that I'm watching, over 40 private channels. And if you're watching a Workhorse related video, literally, we are speaking charts in there all day long. Trent in particular. I'm speaking pre-market, during the market, and post-market. We are covering it constantly. And if you want 4 free stocks on Webull, 2 of which are valued up to $1,600, hit the second link in the description, deposit $100, and it really is that simple. So look guys, before we get into this news, I want to speak about something I saw in my comment section quite a lot yesterday, and that was people telling me that I'm too emotionally attached to Workhorse. And I understand where people are coming from, because I love this company. I've spent so much time making the videos. I've spoken with the CFO, the management team, and people are saying that the reason I'm not selling is because I'm too emotionally attached. And to be honest guys, I think the reason I'm not selling is the complete opposite. A lot of people sold out of emotion yesterday. A lot of people sold out of fear. Nothing fundamentally changed yesterday, as I covered in yesterday's video. I'm investing in a company. A circumstance that was outside of their control affected a sharp sell-off in the stock price. If I was emotional in regards to Workhorse, I would have sold out. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like, you know, I don't have an emotional interest in the company. I most certainly do, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I don't let that cloud my judgment. I've done my research, okay? I have done my own due diligence. I've formed my own conviction in regards to this company. And that's exactly why I can hold them when a lot of people emotionally sell out. That's just something I wanted to address though quickly, guys, because sometimes being emotionally attached to a company doesn't just mean that you're going to buy a hold, or doesn't just mean that you're going to keep buying it. It can mean that you sell. You let your emotions take over. And look, that happens in the market. And guys, I'm not saying that I'm not more emotionally attached to Workhorse than most companies, because I think that would just be a blatant lie. But I don't let that cloud my judgment. I genuinely believe that a very large portion of the reason I did not sell yesterday was because of how objective I am in regards to this company. I know a lot of people just say that I'm a Workhorse bull. I don't, you know, give both sides of the story. I think anybody who's been on this channel for more than a few months, anybody who's watched at least the large majority of my Workhorse videos, will know that's simply not true. Not a video goes by where I still don't say they're high risk. Not a video goes by where I don't try and warn you guys. I mean, I called the top to the penny the last 2 times and pre-warned people a couple of days in advance to sell if you can't handle it. I did just want to get that out there though, guys. So the first thing we really have to speak about, the first real piece of news, is this. December 2nd, it came out yesterday. USPS Next Generation Delivery Vehicle Program update. In 2016, the USPS began a multi-year research program with select suppliers to replace its aging fleet of right-hand drive, long-life vehicles with the next generation delivery vehicle, and is now nearing the end of the extensive process. That's something I do like to read. It should have been ended by now, but regardless. The Roni pandemic previously resulted in the expected production award being pushed to the end of 2020. So that was what we as investors were told. However, amid continuing Roni concerns, and in order to provide for capital investment activities and required approvals, the program schedule has been revised and a decision is now planned for Q2 of fiscal year 2021. That's January to March 2021, the first calendar quarter. So as I said in yesterday's video, I was expecting this to be true. I mean, trucks.com has been reputable in the past. If a piece of information like that was untrue, it would have been one massive legal issue that nobody would really want. I mean, it would have been the most blatant market manipulation of all time. You would have been liable for an awful lot of losses. So we expected it to be true, and it is true. And I'm actually quite thankful that the USPS released this statement sooner than later. Also though, I feel like they just did it because trucks.com published it. We probably wouldn't have found out about this until the very end of this year. But look, now we know where we stand as investors. And again guys, I'm just going to put it out there. There's a very real possibility it gets delayed even further. With the USPS's history, with the Roni, with everything that's going on in the world, it's a possibility. We have to come to terms with that. We have to accept it. So I have nothing else to say about this. This is the way it is. There's nothing we can do to change this. Next up, something that made me very, very happy when I saw it this morning. ARK Invest went ahead and they picked up about 160,000 shares. That was actually quite considerable. I mean, they closed the previous day at 1.19 million. Now they're up to 1.359 million. That's a considerable jump. And this just does show to me that I believe ARK Invest is still very bullish on this company, because when we saw Workhorse get up to, briefly, more than 3% of the RQ, they did not trim. In fact, they kept buying every single day without fail. But not once did they sell a single share. So to me, you know, ARK shares a very similar opinion to me. They are long on Workhorse as a company. Something such as a 1 to 3 month delay doesn't mean anything. And this is what I was stressing in yesterday's videos. Fundamentals have not changed even a small bit for the company that is Workhorse. So a month ago, ARK Invest had, let's say, 950,000 shares. I mean, guys, what, they've put an extra 40% into this position in the span of a month? That's shares wise as well, not even just cost basis wise. Says a lot, my friends. And I'm sure we're going to see this with many more big institutional investors. We've seen even BlackRock, for example, buying a whole lot. I think more than 2 million shares in the last quarter. I don't think that's going to slow down. I know that when you're in YouTube comment sections, there's a lot of panic, my friends. But to the people with big money, they're not panicking right now. Because again, they have conviction. They've formed their own thoughts and opinions. They've done their own research. They're investing in a company. Why would they be upset? So don't take my word for it. Don't take my example. I mean, I'm just some random guy. I always say that. But when I see institutions, when I see ARK Invest, you know, following what I hope they would follow, it makes me feel more comfortable in my own analysis. So that's pretty much where I stand right now, guys. I hope that clears a few things up. Me holding this company is not an emotional decision. Now I want to speak about the price action, okay? And we're going to start it off on a smaller time frame. Let's say we're going to go on to the 15-minute chart right here. So you can see that since yesterday, we've had a considerable amount of green here. Now I know the stock hasn't necessarily gone up an awful lot, but there's been some buying pressure. We can see that the MACD has turned bullish again, but the RSI is also pretty much at overbought levels. Now in yesterday's video, one of the scenarios I said I expect to play out is to hit off this previous line of support I had put out there, 1924, and look, we actually hit it perfectly 3 times and bounced off it, which has me believing this may, and maybe the keyword, turn into a new line of support, especially when you see the amount of consolidation that has happened here. Now we have seen a little upward movement. We're up about 4 to 5% pre-market, and you see from there we've consolidated. The other thing I said I think could happen is we'd fill in about half of this candle, which would mean we'd have to get up to about, you know, the high 22s, let's say. Now to be honest, my friends, from what I'm seeing on the chart, in the short term, I expect a little bit of a pullback. I expect this consolidation to happen. Maybe we come back down to the mid-20s. Maybe we can start to come back down into the mid-19s. With that being said, in our long-term trend lines, we're still down low. And what I really want to do is bring you to the broader time frame, okay? We're going to go all the way to the 4-hour chart. I had these trend lines drawn out since the end of October, okay? They've been here for more than a month. We respected them for a long time. And again, to the guys who watch this channel a lot, you'll remember when we started going on this run-up, I was saying I would have rathered a pullback if we could have traded inside of these trend lines again. And really interestingly, we had done that just before this huge dip came out. Look, we were trading perfectly inside of the trend lines. This is what I wanted to see. Even though there was a quite considerable dip, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. We were still trading a little bit above the 50-day moving average, and then boom, we get brought down back to this previous support. So remember the 15-day chart, okay? The MACD was bullish, the RSI was overbought. On the broader time frames, okay, we are still oversold, okay, and the MACD is not yet bullish. So in the short term, some proper consolidation will not surprise me. If I see a little bit of downward movement, a little bit of sideways movement, even a little bit of upwards movement, but just trading somewhere between those areas. But in the long term, I like what I'm seeing. It looks to me as if a reversal could happen, and you know, I'm going to be looking back up towards these levels I had set out a long time ago. I'm going to be looking towards these trend lines for one. But then, you know, I also have this level here, right at about $26 laid out. I'm going to be looking up towards $26, which would be decent. Now remember guys, I'm speaking about the 4-hour chart here, okay? This isn't something that I expect to happen today or tomorrow. Maybe next week, it depends if we turn bullish again. These are what I'm looking towards, but in the short term, I mean, I'm expecting something to go on in these kind of levels here. As I said, I'm looking at maybe, let's say 2250 and 1920ish, and if we can stay in between there, create some consolidation, get the bulls back on top, I think we could see some nice continual upwards movement and potentially get back into these trend lines. So all I'm trying to say guys is, you know, for the rest of this week, expect some choppiness. I won't be upset if we hang out around these levels whatsoever, but longer term, I am expecting some nice upward movements again. Now, it is going to be interesting to see how Workhorse begins to trade now, because we know for a fact we are not going to be hearing about the contract announcement for at least 2 to 4 months, my friends. Again, something you just have to come to terms with. Well, technically 1 to 4 months if it was the very beginning of January, but I mean, we don't expect that to happen at all. I'm interested to see if things change with Workhorse, if the way this stock moves changes, because a lot of people may just stay out of it for a while. A lot of people got stopped out. They're probably fed up, you know. They're fed up of waiting. They might want to put their money elsewhere. Maybe we're going to see lower volumes over the next while. Unless institutions decide to take over and take advantage, then we'll probably see all of those people coming back. But I'm going to be keeping my eye on the average volume for the next kind of week and a half, maybe till next Friday, just to see what's going on. But guys, that's all I really wanted to say today. I know that wasn't the most information in the world, but hopefully you were able to appreciate it. I just wanted to stress the fact that now it is official. I also wanted to go through the fact that ARK is buying, and I wanted to explain why me not selling this stock is not an emotional decision. And also briefly, we just went through what I think is going to happen price action wise, you know, over the next day or two, and then over the slightly longer term. If you did enjoy today's video, maybe you took some value, some entertainment, please consider hitting that like button for me, my friends. Drop me a comment down below, and of course, subscribe if you're new around here. That helps me out so much. If you are interested in joining my Patreon, getting updates on Workhorse literally constantly, hit that first link in the description. There's 40 other private chats as well. And if you want those free stocks, second link in the description, my friends. Sign up to Webull, deposit $100. 2 of them are valued up to $1,600. Easy money. If you watched this video all the way till the end, you, my friend, are a true legend. I really do appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. I will see you in another one very soon. Peace.